am taking on my dad in a versus challenge as we race to win the Super League, with the winner of the challenge not only having to win the European Super League trophy, but also the massive knockout tournament, the European Champions Cup. And so once one of us has eventually lifted both trophies, they will be declared the winner. And we started this journey in Tier 3, where there is 192 different clubs as the managers of FC20 and Malmo. Right now, we are about to enter season number 9, and neither side have won either trophy. Going off history though, I have been banging on the door for a while whilst my dad has been trying to catch me up. Financially, he's been crippled by his board, and they are now giving him 85% of any sales. And he's straight on the hunt, asking his director of football for transfer recommendations, and he's actually come up with a banging suggestion for DM. With dad immediately bringing in the South Korean for a whopping total of £88 million. But probably worth it by looking at him. I, however, have decided I need a new striker, and Bures is my main target and has a decent release fee for how good he is. This is off the back of my current striker, Bakur, underperforming and having interest in him, which I'd like to explore after finding out he doesn't enjoy important matches. I took a gamble signing Bures before selling Bakur though, and I'm happy to bring him to the club either way. What I'm not happy with is, despite there being a lot of interest for Bakur, I can't seem to get any offers in for him. And when they eventually did come, I screwed it up by being too greedy and trying to ask for more. However, I was still bringing money into the club by selling other players such as Univar and Nunez, who have dropped match minutes last season but still hold good value for now. Bakur did finally attract more interest, however the offer was never quite as good as Arsenal's original, but I accepted it anyway. But then he rejected the move and I was fuming as I really need to get rid of him. Dad had then decided to go for Morten Hjulmand, who had just become a free transfer, and was absolutely mortified when the guy asked for 700 grand a week. I was then welcoming in from Sevilla my new goalkeeper and hopefully someone who can challenge for Bruggen for the #1 shirt. Even then, more players were leaving Malmo as I was cashing in with targets in mind, as Calvin Ramsey now leaves for 44 million, as well as Esteve, who I sold aged 29 for 56 million, cashing in while his value was still high. And I believe I found the perfect replacement at the back. He's also left-footed and at just 22 years of age has a buyout clause I cannot resist. And he joins the club soon after, a player with mental and physical attributes of a world-class player. Dad was also selling players, getting £40 million in for Carlson now that he gets a good amount of revenue, helping him raise enough money for another world-class midfielder. The type of player that Dad's been targeting this summer has drastically improved his side. I had money though burning a hole in my transfer pocket, so I bought in a fullback who can play both sides, and I spent big money on him too. And we have some good news about Bakur, as he has finally left for about £56 million. As well as a bid for Sinistera, who, remember, I got on a free transfer a few seasons ago and never played wingers, and I sold him for nearly £100 million. When the season started, however, I was not smiling, as it did not start very well. And so, with a change of tactic, taking a leaf out of Dad's book, I racked up 2 wins, and we have a tasty run coming up, including Dad at the end of August. But let's just say that Dad's new midfield couldn't stop the onslaught of my wide players providing my new strike force. Well, Dad, you couldn't handle my change of tactic.
No, I'm a bit disappointed really, because that's a loss for me, and at a good stage where I felt I came into that game on a real good run, so I was sort of had fingers crossed with that. I was hoping for a draw or even better.
Well, you say in a good run, as you can see, you're unbeaten, in fact, across the whole of the month, other than the first game of the season. So, yeah, I mean, you were travelling back up the table after quite a poor start, but unfortunately, I've stopped you in your tracks there. And there's actually a couple of new signings since as well, and one of them even scored in that game. So a lot of the transfers we've already covered, but Benkoff was one that came in quite late. Now this guy is quite impressive as well. Decent physicals, 19 for composure, 18 for finishing. He's quite good, isn't he, the Bulgarian?
He's very good, not quite good, very good.
Yeah, he's scored a couple of goals already. He got 25 goals last season in the 3rd tier. So he's got to step up into the Super League, 2 tiers, but so far so good. He looks like he can handle himself there. But I also spent another £63 million on Alfredo Vidal. Now, this was a big summer for me, arguably my biggest summer, and this guy comes in. Annoyingly, I'm not playing that role because he would be good for it, but this is the role I'm using. So I might have to try and train him into that position and see what he does, or he drops into centre-back, but I'm not too keen on him at centre-back, especially with only 4 jump and reach. But he's a very good centre midfielder. £304 million on the outs. Sinistera was the biggest amount of money, of course. The winger that I got on a free transfer, selling him for nearly £100 million. Really good business, to be fair. Esteve going as well for £60 million, player I don't really intend to use. And Marianne Bakir, I finally got rid of him.
Yeah.
He went to Liverpool, maybe for not as much money as what I hoped. But the reason for selling him, of course, is that doesn't enjoy it in poor matches. Hopefully, he can make Liverpool terrible now. That's my plan. But of course, the replacement bringing in for him was Miroslav Burez, who I think is a lot better. And I'm hoping can replace him well.
22, that's criminal.
So that's 2 really good strikers that I've brought in now.
I'm worried.
But the other positions on the pitch, I've got myself a new goalkeeper. I'm not going to nail anybody in here. Him and Verbruggen can kind of fight out between them. Another good centre-back from Greece. I've got a couple of them now. This guy's actually left-footed as well, so he fits in perfectly. Henry Song was £90 million, but he can play on both fullback positions and probably be my best player. And then Remco van Rijn, more of a squad, more of a backup player, plays in behind and up front because I'm using both those positions. He's picked up an injury, shock. And then Mutombo was the last one before that change up of tactic, and he's mainly just a centre-back, can also fill in at right back and CDM. Now, the change of tactic is something that you would normally do, looking at that. That's very Omega Dad style of tactic.
Yeah, it is.
But I did
definitely,
need to do it because only 1 win in my first 5 was kind of worrying. I've managed to really salvage that.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Just the loss to Manchester City at home, but the rest of the results have been really, really good. Dad, looking at your transfer window, though, it wasn't as busy as mine. In fact, it was quite a quiet one for you. You sold Kasper Karlsson for £40 million. You sold Levy for £11 million. I'm surprised by that one, definitely, because he only came in 2 seasons ago, maybe even 1 season ago. Didn't play that much last season, actually. So £16 million. You only sold him for 11. I am shocked by that one, I must admit.
It's money. I needed the money to buy a couple of players that I wanted to get in, so that's what I had to do.
Okay. Well, Freisnado was the last man through the door for you at right back.
Yeah, need a stronger right back so I could get this guy in. So
loan deal as well coming in, more of a rotational option. He plays in a few roles.
Playing a lot of players in midfield, so I just wanted a midfielder loan. He's quite good. He'll help me out if I need him. So yeah.
And then there was 2 big ones.
Yes.
84 million and 88 million. Let's look at the 84 from Lazio. Another midfielder.
Yeah.
Not going to try and pronounce that name. Andreas, his first name. Great physicals, fantastic mentals, very good technicals,
yes.
especially
he's
in
he's going to be a
ball
ball-winning role, in the midfield, yeah. So I'm trying to make it more solid. I was giving away too much, and I felt my midfield was not very good at all.
The engine room.
So I've got a bit of money to spend. That's where I'm concentrating on first. So banging, this guy comes in then.
Well, he's a model citizen as well. He's the best personality you can get on the game. Obviously, his biggest weakness in midfield is passing, only at 11.
I just want him to win the ball.
But yeah, that's the job to be. And then finally, the first signing was Baek Sung Won, who was actually on my shortlist to pick up when I eventually decided to go for a CDM, but you got in there straight away.
So when the other guy wins the ball,
Very
gives
good.
it to him, and he can distribute it then. This guy's the one that I'm going to be, hopefully, he can sort of be knocking the ball around and giving me some chances up front.
Yeah.
22, that good as well. Oh, I think he's a good player.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, tactically, you're nailing in Iker for the season in that centre midfield role, but the advanced playmaker on attack. Allowing, of course, Roman Thierry to drop into that position, shadow striker, with Adam Hasek, your main striker.
That was the
front.
2. I was going to play 2 up front, and that was the 2 I was going to use. So dropping the other guy back in the shadow striker role allows me to sort of like just give a bit of midfield a little bit more sort of support as well, really. So
yeah. All right.
I'm pleased with this. I've got in the players that I wanted to get in. So I found a tactic for them, really, which is you get annoyed with me sometimes, don't you? I find tactics for players where you get me, told me, pick a tactic.
You just changed the tactic for the players, which is why we got 2 ball-winning midfielders and a wide midfielder here at the minute.
Oh well, I'll go with it.
All right, let's see then. So this now is like season number 9, and neither of us have got to win any of the trophies yet. I've come close a couple of times, but I am worried that you're going to start catching.
Well, I just feel a bit lucky that you haven't won anything yet, and I'm getting a bit of money now. I'm getting sort of the venue that I need, so hopefully I can
85%.
Yeah. So hopefully I can start chasing you now. I've got a couple of good midfielders in. I'll start from there. I feel I still got a weak defence though, so that's next season hopefully.
Alright, let's see what happens this season. Well, after beating me in the league, I get my revenge on Manchester City, knocking them out of the Champions Cup with a very late winner. But also, in just the second round is where Dad's 20 side was eliminated by Girona. In the league, unfortunately again, neither of us was impacting the title pictures this season, but Dad's also fairly safe with a few games remaining from relegation. But it's the Champions Cup that we are pushing for a trophy, as we batter Besiktas in the quarter-final 5-0. And with a huge opportunity to win it, we just need to defeat Leipzig to get to the final. However, on the night, we failed to show up at all, and Leipzig managed to cruise on to the final with a 2-0 win over us to end our season in disappointment. Oh, I mean, you had a bad season.
Yes. I'm just glad that you...
Quite a boring season as well, to be fair. Sat in 21st place, no danger of going down, knocked out in the second round of the cup.
My season was finished very, very early.
Yeah. I had a bit more of an entertaining one. I mean, I was never going to win the league. I was never going to be able to catch PSG at the top there on 106 points. I dropped too many points in the mid-season. But semi-final by Leipzig, and the final was Feyenoord. So
you lost a big chance.
You've
earned a lot of money out of it still, but you lost a big chance.
Absolutely. There was no big teams in it, obviously, in the semi-final.
Jump in, isn't it?
Even in the quarter-final. I mean, there's no team in there that I think, oh, they'll win that. You know, I'm knocking out Besiktas 5-0. Spurs is getting eliminated by Leipzig, so it's two of the biggest teams in there put up against each other. The fifth round even. I mean, Dortmund and Bayern Munich are in there. With Man United as well. We've seen them close to the top. But the likes of Real Madrid and stuff were knocked
Barcelona,
out early. Yeah, they were knocked out really early. Man City as well. I mean, it was a huge opportunity and a huge missed opportunity. Absolutely. So let's look at the UEFA Super League then. The top scorer was Erling Haaland and Mbappe was 34. I haven't got any players in there now. Now that Nelson Viper has kind of dropped out of the first team, as it were. But Perez is up there for a good average rating. That's really about it, and I think that's the trouble but for both of us. We don't really have anybody who's getting involved in this, and that's going to cost us positions in the league. So as you said, very, very good financially for me, up to £281 million thanks to that semi-final run, and they've given me £128 million to spend next season. Not a lot in the wage, so I will still have to play around with that a little bit. But where do I go in terms of replacing the players? Because 26 goals for Buarez is good first season. Benkoff and James Rodgers has both done really well. 20 goals each. Benkoff has got 19 for finishing now. James Rodgers 20 for that dribbling. Looks like a fantastic player and makes Nelson Viper kind of look a bit bang average in comparison.
He could come in my team and be the best player in my team, that's a problem.
Junior Krupi as well in that position. Even in terms of like the assists, Conor Bradley had a good season. 21 assists in there was the most. Buarez obviously got 17. So in terms of might not have got as many goals to me, but goals and assists, yeah, I'm really happy with that. There's people already sniffing around him if I wanted to cash in, but I don't really want to. Although I do get 100%. Let's look at yourself, Dad. Obviously, it was a bad year. Girona knocking you out in the second round is really poor.
Better in the cups. That's where my money comes from, really.
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's where you are struggling.
Yeah.
In terms of goals and everything like that, 28 from Adam Hasek.
Yeah, he's doing me proud at the moment. He's keeping me in it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I kept away from the relegation this time, and it down to him, I feel.
Yeah, a lot of goals. Yeah. Probably important ones as well. His injury's not too bad. We're all good. He is wanted, though.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
People are going to be sniffing around. There's £100 million there.
I know I could do with the money, but
85%.
It's hard to replace him, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you've only got £60 million in the bank as well in terms for transfers for season number 10's transfer window. So yeah, I don't really know what you're going to do with this team. But if I were you, I'd be switching around to ball-winning midfielders and a wide midfielder. So yeah, let's see what happens in the second. Well, a good start to the summer is Dad finally getting 100% of his revenue from sold players. And he already had a defender in mind to spend his transfer budget on in Diop of Marseille for £67 million. But Dad wasn't the only one shoring up his defence, as I brought in another world-class fullback in my quest for trophies. Selling my now second backup left-back Diop for £58 million. And spending it on another world-class player, this time for my defensive midfielder. midfield. £110 million, but I still think he's worth it. Dad is also spending big on fullbacks as well, a really good attacking one that could be a great addition. However, Dad's been forced to make tactical changes because the season has started and Dad is without a win in his first 6 matches, drawing only 1. So he switches to a 4-2-3-1. And I think those changes were wise, and Dad's side went and beat Liverpool 3-0, winning 2 games in a row, but will it continue that way? Alright Dad, after those couple of games, you cannot get any type of consistency at the start of the season.
I'm
Losing
really
the next 2.
yeah.
Winning, I mean, you just beat Feyenoord 4-1. They got to the Champions Cup final, I think,
Yeah.
last season. Against Leipzig. So
I mean, when you look at it, when I do win well, but I just feel, am I just too attacking? I don't really know at the moment.
I mean, I don't think you are. I think this is way better than the tactic you had last season.
Yeah.
There's a lot of attacking roles, but they are only up front. The support is obviously coming from the wings. You got 4 defensive-minded. I mean, you never change the keeper from sweeper keeper on attack. I don't think I've ever seen you select anything other than sweeper keeper on attack. But yeah, these 4 are set to be just defensive.
I felt that with the 2 in the middle there, that I got a very strong sort of like defensive midfield and back 4 really. So I was hoping that would just do the job and allow the rest of the team to sort of just attack. That's what I was hoping for really.
Yeah.
But it didn't work at the moment.
No, let's look at your transfer window though, because you have spent a bit of money, £116 million.
Yeah.
43 went out. A few insignificant type of players, maybe
I
squad
tried to get rid of
players.
players that I
You've
wasn't
replaced
using
them
really.
well, I think. So Martin McLaughlin, free transfer.
Had a couple of good sort of free transfers come in, and this guy's
Really
one
good.
of them. Yeah. So
That is
hopefully
fantastic.
It definitely makes the squad stronger.
Yeah. Stefan is a backup keeper.
Yeah.
Because you needed that, and he's not going to light the world on fire, is he?
No.
But these 2, definitely improvements. Starting off with the right back that you've brought in. Can also play DM, but it's going to be your starting right back. Left-footed right back as well.
That's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll take it. He's a good player, so hopefully he can sort of it just strengthens the defense up a little bit more.
Yeah. And then Boubacar Diop from Marseille. Big money being spent.
This is I'm really relying on this guy. He's only 22. He's very good as well. He's nearly world class already. So
Yeah.
this is the future, I think, for me. I think
right.
this guy will be in my team for quite some time now.
Decent, both feet.
Yes.
Physical's obviously the most important part of the game on Football Manager. That's
We
all
all know
high.
that I like a player that can play with both feet. So yeah.
Yeah.
This guy can do it for me.
Okay, so I mean, tactically, you're looking at a 4-2-3-1. I think that your team definitely suits that style of play with Iker, Hasek, and then of course you've got great backups, which I think is important.
I was trying to make the
squad
squad
is
bigger.
building better.
I was making the squad bigger, so because I feel that's where I'm losing the cup games. I'm coming to the cup games and rotating the squad a little bit, and that's why I'm getting knocked out so early. My squad wasn't big enough or strong enough.
Yeah, I think there's just a couple of weaknesses.
That is my. I feel that them
side
two,
there.
and I'm looking sort of like that could be next season again. So I can't do it all in one season. That's the problem, isn't it? So
you haven't got the money to do that.
No.
All right, then, let's have a look on the other side of things, because I've had a quiet transfer window, but I'm currently top.
Yeah.
I am currently
really
top of
worried
the
now.
league. So this has been a fantastic start for me. I've only lost 1 game. After starting off the season with 4-1 win against yourself, Dad, only losing 1 and only drawing a couple of games, which really you think, I should be winning then. Like Salzburg 2-0, I should be beating them. Porto 2-2. Come on,
You're
there's
2-0 up in that game.
the games that I'm like smashing people. Man City 4-1, Schalke 6-1, Olympiacos 5. Olympiacos have been getting some unbelievable players in this.
Yeah.
And I just beat them 5-0. So looking at the transfer window, I think I've even bought a couple of players from Olympiacos, and I just sold them one as well. David Roskar was the first signing that I made, as you can see here. The last one was in the August last year. David Roskar was the first one I made for 110 million. It's a world-class CDM. From Slovenia.
It's the difference of the two teams at the moment, isn't it? You're
Yeah.
spending 110 million on one player.
I have the capabilities of doing so. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was at Brighton last year. We mentioned how good Brighton's team were.
Yeah.
Very good start as well. 3 goals, 4 assists from a CDM. 7.535. Unbelievable. And then Musa Compaore, £80 million for this guy. Left back. Now I've got one on each side who is phenomenal.
Yeah.
A really good player.
Just look at the mentals.
Both feet.
and the physicals.
Mentals are disgusting.
Oh my word.
The guy is absolutely unbelievable. He's
Probably,
mustard.
he's probably going to be the best one in the league, isn't he?
I'd say so, yeah. He's
Yeah.
got to be up there. So, tactically, I'm switching. Now, the tactic I did last season started off to be great, but unfortunately, it kind of tailed off, and I think it was too attacking. I've gone very bog standard FM meta now. Let's get this league title. And I think I've got to do that. I've been messing around. This is the 10th season now, which means it's my 8th season in the Super League. And I finished second twice, and I'm not getting anywhere near the top. I need to go full meta. And this is what I'm going to rock with. So it's very based off of the narrow formation I had previously, but I've adapted it to supply wingers. Do I have the wingers? Probably not. But I think this is definitely the way to go. I mean, Bures plays out there. Do I really want that happening? I'm kind of allowing it. I don't really want to lock him in up front this season. I want to see how it plays out. And Song, who I bought last season, who plays left back, is actually a good centre, well, inside forward. But I tell you who has been playing there quite a lot and scoring goals, it's Nelson Viper, which I did not realise, but he can play there.
Yeah.
And as you can see, he's got 8 goals and 9 assists at the start of this season.
Just reborn him again, haven't you?
It's very impressive after a year off, if anything.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He's back in. Nelson is back in the team in a new role as an inside forward. So I'm invested. I am invested in this. You can see his name dotted around a lot here. I've got Feyenoord next in the cup. We know they are good. They've got quite far in the last season. It's the second round as well, which worries me because the money doesn't come until at the 5th round. But I mean, there we go. In terms of your second round matchup, you've got Spurs, hilariously.
I got them twice.
Yeah. Back-to-back Spurs games. One of them away, one of them at a neutral ground.
Oh, dear. So, well, I don't mind what you do in the league. Just give me the cup.
Yeah. Just get as far as you possibly can in the cup, and you'll start having some money.
Yeah.
That's the secret in this database. But let's see. Season number 10 now. As I said, it's my 8th one. And I'm top. It's in my hands this season. Can I bring it home?
Yes, I just need to make sure I keep plugging away and winning games in the league. I have been blowing teams out of the water, not really conceding a lot, still sitting in top spot and opening up a gap to Chelsea in second place. That unfortunately failed to get past Spurs, who scored in extra time to win the second tie. And after a close round against Sampdoria later in the Champions Cup, I have drawn Legia in the 5th round. That striker Roman Thierry has been on goal-scoring form, however, and has been helping 20 pull away from the relegation zone. His run continued, and win after win, Dad's side kept climbing towards the end of the season. However, he won't be too pleased with how my Malmo strike force continue to ruin the Super League defences, because both Bures and Benkoff are on fire, and with just a small chunk of games remaining, we sit top of the league. Could this be the year? We also have a chance for revenge against Leipzig in the semi-final of the Champions Cup, one season after they beat us at this stage last year. Which means I could actually end this series in one swoop by winning both trophies this season. But unfortunately for me, Leipzig somehow kept my guys quiet and beat us in a penalty shootout after a 0-0 draw. In what was the biggest smash and grab ever, as we missed 4 penalties but had 19 shots to 0 during the full 90 minutes plus extra time. How have we not won that? The good thing is, though, after a late push by Real Madrid, we still hold on and lift the Super League title with 109 points. Which means one of the 2 trophies has been won, and I'm halfway there.
Finally! The first man to pick up one of the trophies.
Had to come, didn't it? You were getting close and closer, weren't you? So,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's about damn time.
you probably have got one of the best teams, or squad even, in the league at the moment. So I think you deserved it after when you're doing so well. I'm just really pleased with how close I'm getting now. I'm got away from being the bottom half. I'm coming up to the top half now. So I'm
74
slowly
points.
getting better. So yeah, I could have done with one more season of you not winning it. Really, just give me a chance of getting it closer. Oh well.
I was almost close to completing it in one go. It's semi-final by Leipzig again.
But I'm like,
Last season was exactly the same. Look,
Done me a
2-0 they
big
beat
favour.
me then. 0-0 on penalties. And I would have gone to the final and faced Ipswich. Yet again, it was a huge opportunity to win the Champions Cup, and I wasted it. Very annoying.
maybe luck is on my side.
Maybe. As to where Dad got, I mean, you were knocked out in the second round again, Dad. They were
Spurs
very
coming in.
good. Spurs
I
knocked
just
you out.
knew they were going to do me. When I had those 2 games in a row, I thought they
Yeah.
were going to do me there.
But even in the 4th round, this is where all of the big clubs started getting eliminated. There's Man City there, Chelsea going out as well, Dortmund, who have been in and around the top. I don't even think Real Madrid are in this point. They're not. Barcelona went through against Luton, but then they were knocked out in the next round. Oh, no, they didn't. They went by... Is it the quarter-final? Yeah, Leipzig knocked them out. I don't know what it is, yeah, but these bigger clubs are just not winning or getting very far. Bayern Munich was knocked out in the 3rd round in this.
It's been really bad. Inter Milan, there's Tottenham who went out by Galatasaray, so they're just not getting very far. This Champions Cup is really difficult, even for the big boys.
Oh, Spurs beat me 3-2.
Extra time loss.
Come on, lads.
PSG also went out in the second round by Leicester, and I think they were quite high up in the league table as well. So I still haven't even seen Real Madrid. We probably won't. There they are. They went through against Lille, so they were knocked out in the third round then. That's as far as they managed to get. But, I mean, they were second place in the league. We've seen all the names. And Leipzig are actually doing quite well in both. They've done all right in the Super League, but obviously they go through and they win the Champions Cup. That's 2 years in a row now.
Yeah.
2 years in a row. Ipswich have got to the final twice in 3 seasons. This is unbelievable stuff from them. But Leipzig are going to be rolling in money next season. That could be quite worrying, to be fair, because they've already got a decent side.
Look at that league table that you've won it quite comfortably. I mean, it's
Well,
only 3 points, but
Only
when
4
you look at
losses.
the rest of the I mean, 4 losses, goal difference 100. You've won it quite comfortably, I feel.
Yeah.
You think the goal difference below? Oh, you're with Real Madrid 65. So yeah, you deserve to win it with stats like that. Really, I think.
Benkoff was the top scorer.
There you go.
Last season, obviously he came in. Look at him now. I mean, 20 for composure. He looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of just come out of nowhere as well. 29 goals in 43 games. It's not Nelson Viper levels, who is still knocking around. This is a redemption
25,
era with 25. He did very well. And again, if you're looking at the form, it's all from the inside forward. You can see all these goals coming down here. It's inside forward all season. That's where he played. I love that.
A little Brucey bonus here, wasn't it?
Yeah. Thierry also had 29 goals, Dad. So he's up there, the same amount as Mbappe and Benkoff, which that shocked me because he wasn't your main striker.
No, he won.
So he's obviously just brought himself into the first team, scoring a lot of goals, getting a lot of assists. Got to be happy with that for sure.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Burez, who I obviously pushed out to the right-hand side, got the highest average rating in the league. So it tells me, I mean, like, well, I must have done something right. I thought it would be
Two
bad
wingers
from
are
out
first
there.
and second, don't
Yeah. So both of them, who are normally strikers, have done exceptionally well. I mean, Burez has got 18, got 21 assists this season, 15 last season.
Very good.
Really good stats from him, so I'm absolutely buzzing with that. But the money for next season, which I've only now got to win the Champions Cup, is £128 million. My wage budget is stupid high. So I can really play around with that. And there's still a few players that I might cash in on at this point. I tell you what, last season, I probably would have cashed in on Viper. But this season, I can. And this is the only season he's actually wanted. And I definitely won't be selling him to Leipzig, that's for sure. But I mean, look at the statistics there. So many goals being scored and brought in. So I'm really happy with that. Good transfer budget. I might not even need to bring in or sell anybody. Yourself, though, Dad, we mentioned Thierry. Hassek's dropped off quite a bit.
Yeah, he did, yeah. A bit disappointed with that, really. I could have done with him scoring a few more goals. Would have put me a little bit further up the table, but...
he did play from the left, from the right, up front. He wasn't exactly finding a hole.
No.
That's the finding a home, and that's the trouble. McLaughlin, who come on a free, that's really good.
Yeah.
He's done exceptionally well for you. 13 goals and 36. Not bad for a free transfer, but I definitely think that left-hand side needs looking at. Janssen hasn't done exactly very well compared to what he has in previous seasons.
He's probably struggling with what's going on behind him as well.
Yeah.
So, because it is that left-hand side that's not doing very well, I feel. So, yeah.
But you've got 30 million.
Could have done one. Put another one in front of that, really, couldn't I?
But that's what happens when you have a bad cup run.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, the only good
finance.
thing is I've got the 100% now. I've asked the board to change it. They've changed it for me. I've got the 100%. So if I do sell a player, at least I'm getting all the money this time. So
That's it.
if I can sell a couple of players, really, I can try and improve on that left-hand side.
Well, there we go. But one trophy has been won already. It is the Super League. Now it's just the Champions Cup for me, and then the challenge is complete. Dad still needs both, though. He's got to put in a lot of work to get either of them.